everyone!
Hi!
So as promised, I just received my Step 2 CS score. It's a USMLE medical board exam, clinical skill portion of the Step 2 exam. And I passed! Yay! So as promised, I made a video back when I just took the exam, right? Just talk about the flow of the test center in Houston. And I say if I pass, I will talk about some tips I will give people. Well, now it's the time. I'll make a tip video as promised. I passed. Yeah. So Step 2 CS is on a pass-fail basis. So you either pass or you don't pass. And on the score report, it's reported at, I'll put it here.
On my face.
Yeah, on your face. It will say ICE, which stands for Integrated Clinical Encounter, and then CIS, which is Communication and Interpersonal Skill, and then lastly is a Spoken English Proficiency, the SEP. So you have to pass each individual category. So the clinical one is about like if you can come up with a differential diagnosis, order the right test, and how your note look during the 10 minutes you get to write the notes. Those things, those are the clinical aspect. And then the communication and interpersonal skill is how you interact with the center patient. And that's also 1/3 of the exam. You have to be able to sympathize with the patient, know what they need, leave in time for question, do the proper physical exam, and ask the proper question. And then lastly is how good you are at English. So I think there's no problem if you are American, born here, and you're a native speaker.
If you attend medical school
in the US, you shouldn't have a problem. Yeah, if you can speak English well, you should have no problem. The category is mostly set for international medical graduate. Like they want to see if you're proficient enough to practice in America. That's why they put the English test. So on the score, just say, yay, you can speak English. No, you fail, you can speak English. That's all. There's no score, just pass, no pass. And but other one on the score, it tells you on the score report like how good you are, high performance, borderline failing, fail. Yeah, and surprisingly, I did better at communication interpersonal skill. I almost highly performance than the slightly lower clinical skill. So that's surprising. I thought I'm not that good at communication, but I'm actually pretty good with the center patient.
I guess YouTube helps. You talk to yourself all the time.
Yeah, I guess. Alright, let's talk about the tips now. So I just talk about preparing. So how long I took to prepare. Took me 2 weeks to prepare, but that's not a dedicated time to prepare. So I was on a rotation, not a dedicated. I took 4 weeks off to study for the Step 2 CKIT clinical knowledge, the written portion, and after that I'm on emergency medicine rotation. And during that 2 weeks, during the downtime of the rotation, I would just read the book. Now talk about the book. The book is a first aid, Step 2 CS book, and get the newest edition. I think that's all you need for preparing, right? Just that one book.
That's all you use.
It has like cases. 44 cases that you can go through, and there's also like a portion that's about differential diagnosis for abdominal pain, chest pain. That's the tests you should order. Be familiar with those, and then talk about the logistics of the test and each test center, what to know.
Also give you like best answers too, like how you should respond to patient's question, what's the best way to respond. I think those are really helpful.
So that kicks into our next point, practice with a friend, right? Yeah, so Stina, very nice, she let me practice not only asking questions and doing physical exam. That's a cranial nerve exam. Cranial nerve 11. Check your accessory nerve. Anyway.
Shake my head?
No, twist your head. Yeah, so I practiced with her on all my cases, and I found it to be really helpful. So do you want to give some tips or things to watch out for when you practice?
Like as
a medical student?
As a friend, even if you don't have medical background, still be familiar with the case. So still read through what they need to ask so they can pace the time a little bit better. Also, give them ideas like, oh, this patient is coughing, the baby is crying, or the mom is really worried. You don't have to act it out per se, but let them know the situation or the scenarios if you don't want to act it out. Mix up practice. So sometime in the book, they will have all the OB cases together or all the pediatric cases together. So one way to help them is to mix up the cases. So don't do all the OBs together. Do one OB, one
chest pain.
One chest pain,
One
one
abdominal
guy,
pain.
and just kind of mix
One
them
stroke,
on, and
just jump around. Yeah.
after a few times, you will know their strength and their weakness. Pick their weakness and practice those with them the most.
Mm-hmm.
So, like Jason, he has more trouble with pediatric and.
Not just dealing with kids and women.
Pediatric and OB. Then I will pick more those cases with them.
Mm-hmm. I'm very comfortable with like abdominal pain. I think that's my strongest point. I go to surgery, so I'm very good at coming up with differential and then doing the right tests and all the right exam, and I can go through all the question, like all the relevant question I should ask very easily. But for OB, I just always forget something like vaginal bleeding or whatever OB-GYN stuff.
Yeah, so you always have to remind them
Yeah.
and try to give them hints, because that's what the standard patient will help them out as well.
There's 44 cases, right? And if you works out each cases, it takes what? So I time ourselves, right? When you do practice, 15 minutes for the patient encounter, 10 minutes writing notes.
Yeah.
And then Sheena need to prepare about it, so it takes like a couple of minutes. So it really takes like almost 30 minutes per case.
Yeah.
So 44 cases, 30 minutes, like 22 hours. And who has 22 hours to practice all these? So I would suggest do a couple in the beginning, the full test, full length practice, and then just speed through it. Like, okay, the topic, I'll read the first liner.
Yeah.
22-year-old, something with chief complaint of abdominal pain, and then I would just go down the question, and then Stina would just mark.
Like a speed run.
Yeah, speed run. She'll answer, and I ask the next question. And whatever I miss, she'll highlight it. Like, I missed this one, and then goes to physical exam first. So I would tell Stina, I'm gonna do abdominal exam. Of course, practice the exam, know all the exam, and then be able to do them like reflex it. All the neuro exam, you should know.
Very fast.
I'll do the light.
Yeah.
Everything you should be able to do really fast. Know what tool to use. But once you master that, don't waste time practice on every single case. Just say, I'm gonna do neuro exam. Reflex exam. I'm gonna do sensory on the foot. Okay, very focused exam.
Because you will be, if you do that, you'll just be doing the same exam over and over.
I did it a few times on Stina. I read through our school have these pamphlets that teach you each exam how to do it properly. I practiced on her before, and then later on, later on we just blow through it. Abdominal exam, I'm gonna do this. Gonna listen to the sound. I'm gonna do this. I'm not gonna do it every time because it takes too much time. So and then come out with differential, and then I didn't even write notes for all 44 cases.
No, you didn't.
No. Just like 1 out of 5 cases maybe. I'll do it.
Yeah, and when you're doing the full length one, just make sure you pick the one that's most difficult to you. Perhaps, like Jason, I'll make him do the OB and Peds one because that's most difficult for him.
And of course, time yourself when you're typing those notes. There's on the website they have a template, official website. They have a template like how it's gonna look exactly on the test, and then you can fill it out so you have a feel of the actual test, like what's how many characters you can type in, those things. I used it one time, but then I stopped using it. It's like
you kind of don't.
I know. I just use a link piece of Word document. I just type it out within 10 minutes, time it, and then do it. Yeah, and I suggest you write a reverse order, right? So talk about the differential, the test you're gonna order first, because those are the more important ones. Those takes shorter time, so you should focus those first.
Yeah.
And then go back and write the history in the physical exam, because those things, if you run out of time, then do the test you can order first. And then even with the differential diagnosis, when you go back to write the history, you know what's pertinent, what's important to your diagnosis. Just you can omit the one that's like weight loss. It doesn't have weight loss. Oh, screw it. Don't even write no change in weight. Yeah, just write the thing that's pertinent, like coughing. She's actually coughing, and you write that in. All your abbreviation, of course, saves time when you types. Yeah, there's like a list of approved abbreviation in the Step 2 CS First Aid book, or during the test there's a paper stuck on the wall that tells you what's a good abbreviation to use. Even the one that's not approved, I still use it, like CTAB, clear to auscultation bilaterally for the lung exam. I just write CTAB, still pass, even though it's not an approved one, because the person who graded it is actually a physician, so they know most of the common ones. Yeah, so just other thing you can do to practice. Our school provides this opportunity. It's like a standard patient test that we had to take it to graduate, to pass to graduate. It's called OSCE exam, and it's good to have scheduled those before the actual Step 2 CS exam, so you can have a feel for. It's like a half mini exam, like 4-hour one.
It's a 6 case.
yeah, and then yeah, it's a good practice. I did it like the few days right before the real exam. I think it helped because the patient give me feedback. Oh, I should do this, I should do that. Yeah, so that's very helpful. And then since I was on emergency medicine, I think that's a really good rotation also.
Yeah.
Because I could interact with the patient, like talking to them really short time because they want to be very efficient. So I only get like 15 minutes to talk to the patient and have to come back and come up with a differential diagnosis. I think that really helped that 2 weeks on emergency medicine.
And
Or let's talk about when you go to the test center. Bring some snack, granola bar. You don't have to bring water. They provide water, provide coffee. Bring a white coat. If you forget, they'll provide one for you. They're gonna tape up your school's logo so they don't know what school you're from, so they're not biased. Bring your stethoscope. Bring some cash or credit card because they mandatorily require you to have a credit card on your person or a few dollars on your person just in case there's an emergency, so you can have money. And they provide lunch or dinner.
very good lunch.
Very good. How do you know? I told you. Oh, you saw me. I take some home too afterward. They come, yeah. So they have lunch during the middle break and then dessert in the last break as well.
Yeah.
So good food. Prepare for that. $1,000. Most expensive meal ever. Okay. So let's talk about actually in the center what to look out for. So there's 12 cases as of 2017. You'll see 12 patients, only 10 are scored, 2 are unscored, but you don't know which 2 are unscored, so just do well on all of them. But if you do like bad in one case,
just pretend that one
that's the one they don't score.
Don't lose any sleep over it.
Yeah. Don't get stressed out. Yeah, I heard people cry after the cases. Yeah. But yeah, just start fresh after every case. It's just start fresh. And another funny thing is look at the person next to you, because you go in circle, you rotate through. Oh, you're not circle, like go in line and then they come back. Yeah, it's a circle, big circle.
12 rooms, and you
go
can
linear,
see,
and then 12 will go to 1.
Yeah, basically, you can see the person.
See the person next to you doing it, see their face, and then make friends with them. You can talk, but you just have to talk in English. Don't speak your own native language during the room. They might think you're cheating. But speak English, and then during lunch break, you can talk to them, but don't talk about the case, but be friend with them, which I get to be friend with a couple of them. And the person behind me, he's like always looking at my face. Like, if I'm smiling, he knows that case is easy. And he's like, oh shit, he's not smiling. He's coming out so late from the room. Screwed. Yeah.
Aww.
So yeah, I think that's
so
a good tip from him.
if you want to screw the person behind you, you can like pretend you're all happy. It's like, so easy.
So easy. And then you go in like, oh shit. So hard. Yeah. Well, I didn't get to utilize that tip. He was telling me, like, he looked at my face every time he go in.
Well, that's a good tip.
Yeah, so I think that's a really good tip to give you, like, idea. Okay, there's a hard case coming.
Prep yourself.
Yeah, and then another big thing is that, the video is getting kind of long, 15 minutes. All right, talk about saving times. You get 15 minutes with the patient. So how do you save time? So of course, when you go in, ask all the questions. FARC holders, how our school uses, frequency, associated symptom, radiation, and then onset, those kind of frequency, relief factor,
basically get out of all the
HPI, history of present illness, and then go into relevant question, like if it's like abdominal pain, ask about food, associated with food, weight loss, bloody stool, coughing up blood. Yeah, you can read it in this step 2 book, but ask all the relevant question to the chief complaint, and then go into review the system. Actually, it goes through head to toe really quick. Headache, and then coughing, chest pain, abdominal pain, peeing okay, and then any swelling, the weight loss. I always ask about the constitutional symptom, weight loss, right? Any fever, right? All those things. And then weakness. I like to add weakness to everyone because a lot of times they have weakness. Yeah, and I forgot those questions. So just ask everything you can think of really quickly, all the review system.
Yeah,
most of them will be no. They'll be like, no. And you just, no, don't even write anything on the paper. You get a paper, but don't waste time writing all the negative one. Only write the positive one. Just blast through the questions as fast as you can.
As many questions as possible,
but don't waste too much time though, because you have limited time. Just blast through.
If you have time, ask as many questions.
Okay, after review the system, goes to, of course, what's the order? Past medical history, as well past medical history, as well surgery, as well allergy, as about family history. Most are negative, so you just ask really quick. And what else? Social history. Oh, ask a really good social history. Don't just blow that off.
Yeah, those are important too.
Where they work, where they live, support system.
Especially for older patients, I think for that is important.
Ask about, of course, smoking, alcohol, drug. Ask all the sexual history on everyone. I would
Sexual
emphasize
history
that.
is
Ask,
important.
even though if it's irrelevant, ask. This is the checkpoint for sexual history for almost all the cases.
All the cases.
Oh, except for like little baby, but the mother of baby. But
Oh, for mothers of baby, they'll ask like, do you have any problem during pregnancy? Why
Yeah.
are you shaking?
I'm just so excited. Adrenaline rush. Anyway, thinking about tests just make me nervous. I don't really like stand-up patient doing stand-up patient exam. Yeah, so ask those questions. And then ask about like if they drink alcohol, ask about cage. You know, the cage questionnaire, the 4 questions that assess if they're alcoholic. Ask those questions as well.
Yeah.
And sometimes many mental status, like if they're oriented, just ask them about that question if you think they're not. So ask those questions fast. It should only take you 7 minutes max. Don't go too long.
go
Yeah,
too long.
save some time for your physical exam.
Yeah, and I mean the standard patient will just be like your friend. They will help you. They will answer question as fast as they
Yeah,
can
they're
as
actually
well.
really nice. At least in Houston, they don't go off tangent. They just answer your question.
Yeah,
really quick.
they don't be like real patients. Like, oh, let me think about it.
Nah,
I sometimes
they're-
do that to him just to make him nervous and
Yeah.
feel more like I'm an actual patient.
No,
but they actually don't.
they're
do
not
that,
really-
According to Jason.
Yeah, they're not really trying to act like a real patient. They're just there to answer your question, basically. Maybe I took the exam in the afternoon, so 3 to 11 p.m. Maybe they're just
Maybe they're
tired.
like,
They're just tired. They don't care. Right?
I mean, you're just here to make a
No,
few
they're
bucks.
emotionless. So it was just very neutral. Ask a question.
But do they ask like a hard question at the end?
No, not during the end. They can be anywhere. It's like, am I gonna die, doctor? You'll
That's
see.
a very
Yeah.
common hard
Or
question.
am I gonna get better? How long should I have
Do
this
I
symptom?
have AIDS?
Do I have AIDS?
these? Is this disease treatable?
Yeah.
And
So those questions are actually found in the Step 2 CS book, in the first aid book.
yeah.
Every case has a hard question. So the person practice, you just put that in there when you think it fits. So just put it there.
Yeah. And they'll give you a template how to answer the
Yeah,
hard
yeah.
questions.
Usually I answer
those
most
are
of them.
really
I answer most of
helpful.
them correctly. Actually, it's not hard. It's very common
I
sense.
think
I feel.
you
Yeah.
had more problem with the pediatric ones. You
Yeah.
have hard time answering parents' questions.
Yeah. And yeah, and after you answer all the questions, recap. Don't forget. I think it's a good idea to recap right then before you do the physical exam. Like just tell them, oh, this happened 2 weeks, and and you have this associated symptom, fever, weight loss, and then they'll be like, yeah. And if you tell them something wrong, because you might remember wrong or write it down, you can read it, write it down. They'll correct you. So that's
And
important.
always ask, did I miss anything?
Yeah, that's a very
Or
good
Do
point.
you have anything else that you want to tell me? Because usually the standard patient will be like, hey, this guy forgot to ask
Hey,
this.
actually, I have this
forgot
too.
to help them.
Something
And
like that.
tell them,
They're really
even
nice.
if they
They'll
didn't
tell you.
ask.
They'll tell you.
So that's one way to kind of save yourself.
Yeah, so always ask that. Yeah. And then you can ask them if you have question, then if not, go on to physical exam. Okay, most important, either wash your hand or wear a glove. There's 3 ways to do it. Real wash hand, soap, water, wipe. Took forever, so I don't recommend doing that. There's also the alcohol. But it takes forever to dry. I recommend using gloves. Use the biggest size glove that you can use. Slide. If you use too small or too fitting, it's take forever to stuck there because you're sweaty and nervous. It's just stuck there. So use vinyl gloves. So just big glove, extra large.
Practice putting on
Put it on
gloves.
glove. And then I would just keep asking questions when putting on gloves. Like, how are you doing today? Like some random question. Not like actual question, but just, you have any kids? Just talk about
Don't
brain.
let the room die.
Yeah, I don't want it to be like awkward
dead
silence. So I would just chat with them. Might not even be not important question, just to make them feel you're conversational, you know,
When they're
interpersonal
bored,
style.
they've been sitting there for an entire day.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's that. Use glove. And then I like to wipe my stethoscope because it's just a courtesy because you listen to different patient, you know. Or I like to clean them
In
beforehand.
front of the
I
patient.
clean in front of the patient. That's just my habit. I like to do it. It's not required, but I think they appreciate it. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you clean it for them. So I use the alcohol thing. It takes extra time, so I'm really quick. So and just
I mean, you're still talking to them
Yeah.
at the same time.
and they just think you're professional. Clean the stethoscope. Yeah. Okay, so next is physical exam. Always do heart and lung, of course, even though they have no complaint of heart and lung. Listen to your heart, 4 points, and then lung. I don't think my lung is the most correct because during my my school's practice, they say I need to listen to more points in the front. But I pass. I just boom, 2 points.
I mean, they just want to know that you're doing it.
Yeah, and you don't even really have to really listen for it.
That's really hard.
Sorry, you don't even really have to like really truly listen for it.
Yeah.
You can pretend. They're not gonna have a murmur or anything. So
they're healthy.
Lung, but make sure you don't just like 6 points. Wait for them to. They'll try to do it really quick, so you don't waste too much time. So that's good. And then, of course, if it's they have like lung problem, of course you'll do a tier 2 like technophragmitis. What? Like the more the 99 like those things.
It wasn't
Whatever. Do the tier 2 exam. And a lot of time I would even do abdominal exam for a lot of patients, unless they're like musculoskeletal, like, oh, I sprained my ankle. Oh, no, I'm not gonna do abdominal exam. But if they have like, I don't know, things like headache or something, maybe it has to do with this. You know, I would just do abdominal exam quickly. Yeah.
Don't press too hard though.
Oh yeah, don't press hard. Just pretend pressing. Yeah, not like a real patient. Yeah. No, just.
You wouldn't be happy if you got to press hard.
Yeah, they'll tell you not to press too hard. Just pretend pressing. And if there's a positive sign, they're like, oh, yeah, they're very dramatic. So, yeah, don't be scared that you'll miss a finding.
Yeah, they are actors.
And I think in the casebook, a lot of exam require like extremity pulse exam, right? Just for some reason. So I would just check the pedal pulse on every patient. Just check your pulse. Okay, good pulse. And at least that's a good thing to write on the notes. Pedal pulse 2+. Like you just write the notes. It's really quick, so I would do that. And if they have a focus thing, it's not my case, but I'm just one of the practice cases, like, oh, I have a shoulder pain or a toenail, and then do a focus exam for it. Check the nail. Don't just, oh, okay, actually check the ankle and stuff.
And they'll actually
check the sensory, check the motor, check the reflex. Basically, just if it's like actually hand or foot, do all those things. Yeah. Not even. So I said 7 minutes for interviewing, right? Spend around 5 minutes maybe on the physical exam. Really quick. And then save yourself 2-3 minutes. Tell them your finding. Okay, I find this normal. I find this. Oh, it's up. This is abnormal. And then tell them what you think. Oh, I think this might be this. It might be this. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna order X-ray or whatever. I'm gonna order this test. And tell them wait for the result or things like that. And then leave time for question. You have any question? Yeah. And then shake the hand and then exit the room. The only out of 12 cases is my first case. I run out a little time because it's my first case.
You didn't time it well.
I didn't time well. I spent too much time asking questions and I was super rushed, and I didn't even get a shake.
Good.
It's like
you missed a handshake.
Yeah, I missed a handshake. I just had to leave the room. Yeah, but after that I got the timing well. There's a clock on the wall. Use that clock. They'll tell you like 5 minutes remaining or something.
But still use.
So use the clock. Yeah, and you can't wear watches, so use clock. So practice your typing basically. I'm a really fast typer. I have no problem typing fast.
Why does that sound like a brag?
I can type over 100 words per minute.
You don't need to say.
So
no one wants to.
With like very accurate, no error. So yeah, I tested it. So it's for my like chatting with Dina when I first met her. I was like typing. You know.
So his advice is to go on chat rooms.
Back then, when people don't have cell phone, you got to use computer to type out everything. So yeah, practice typing, very essential. Don't use one finger. Oh no, you run out of time.
Yeah, practice typing and
practice all the normal exam. Normal heart sound, normal S1, normal S2, normal murmur, gallop, rub. Type it as fast as you can. I would say during the practice, most of the findings are normal, right?
Yeah.
Most are normal.
Most are normal and
be able to just.
And they're very standard. So like if you see an old guy, chances are you kind of already know what will happen. They're not going to throw a very difficult, very rare disease because that's kind of not helpful. It's very common. Like I broke my arm. The baby had jaundice. That's always a baby thing. So yeah. So it's not you're not going to have difficult issues. And for the friend, if you don't know how to help your medical student, what you can do is, for the first few times, pretend that you're the real patient. How would you feel if you're actually in that situation as a patient in that clinic or in the ER? How would you feel? Tell them, give them feedback. Like Jason, when he would just throw out disease name and doing peace cases, or like,
you might have leukemia.
It's like, and
you have fever.
As
weight
a
loss.
patient, for me as a patient, I'm like, dude, don't say that.
There's a chance you might have leukemia.
Wait, like, tone it down a little bit. Like, you might freak out the real patient in real world. So that's, for me, that's some of the feedback that I gave him. But so if you really don't know how to proceed, just use your own experience. How would you feel as a real patient? How did you act when you go to a doctor for a physical exam, or when you got a cold or whatever? Use whole experience from your life and tell them how would you feel if they say it like that. I guess that's most helpful.
Yeah, so overall, I think it's not a super tough exam.
No, it's not.
Yeah, as you know, the statistic, over 97% of people pass if you are an American medical student.
And I mean, you did all the rotations.
Yeah, if you go through all the rotation,
schools prepped you for it. You're going to do fine.
You shouldn't have any problem with the differential diagnosis. Very straightforward. Communication, just practice. Know the question to ask, the checklist. Make sure you hit all those checklists. Do the right physical exam. And of course, English, if you can speak English, no problem. Yeah.
I mean, it's really for people.
International, yeah.
And if you're an international student, or don't like practice, and also ask friend or family that is a doctor or in medical school, or just live in America. Know the culture background of American hospitals, how doctors are supposed to act here, because culture-wise there are a lot of difference. Like, for example, in Asia, doctors might not require to always look at the patient, but here doctors
eye contact, very important.
Eye contact.
Don't stare at your
so
paper
that's why
and stuff.
That's why for I think for a lot of
I would just you have a clipboard, and then I would just look at the patient and just jot down the important thing. Don't write everything down. Waste of time. And before you go in, people say like write down a question to ask, right? Don't even bother. Just practice. Know what to ask. Head in. Don't waste time, right? Just you read the prompt, go straight in. I don't even write like family history, social history. I don't even like lay it out. Just go as you go. Go as you go.
Dot.
Yeah. Not even dot. Just go in and ask the question.
I would dot because your note look look very messy.
Yeah.
But you're the only ones reading it, so it's not that they will read your note.
Yeah, so I say don't stress too much, even though I was kind of stressed during the test, because the test, but it's not that bad. And the score takes forever to come back, 3 months. But glad I passed, or else it's a $1,200 exam. Expensive exam to retake.
So yeah.
Alright, I think that's
Overall,
all. We talked for like over 30 minutes. I'm thirsty. Let's go get some drink. Non-alcoholic. Alright, so here's the promised video. Super long, sorry for going for so long. But I hope it'll be helpful for people who haven't taken the test yet.
And good luck. I know you guys will do well, and don't stress too much. I mean, you guys will do fine.
Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Bye!
Thank you for watching our video. JS Adventure is a snippet of our daily lives and travel.
谢谢收看我们的频道 ，JS Adventure 记录了我们的日常生活跟旅游记事。
Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't. See you guys next time.
下集见，
拜拜。